All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Well, it's just me talking today. I'm sure you guys can hear it in my voice. It is still not back at 100%, not even anywhere near close. And I want to make sure I do some justice to any of the games that I do cast. So I thought I would go back, take a step back, and give you some thoughts. At, I guess at Ground Zero, the first large tournament for Warcraft 3 Reforged at Dreamhack Anaheim. Eight of the top players were invited. What was it? Thorzain, Foggy, Focus, Lalayette, Happy, Hawk. Oh my gosh, who am I missing? Hitman, and I'm missing one more. But memorizing 7 out of 8, not bad, right? Oh my gosh. I want to say Entei, but Entei actually made his way through the players brackets. So hey, Metaphysics, how you doing? Wanted to go over a couple of thoughts. We wanted to go over some of the stories that were behind the scenes and all of those things, because that's just a lot of fun. Oh, Moon, yeah. How could I forget Moon? Oh my gosh, yeah, Moon. So yeah, I'm missing Moon. Thank you. How could I miss Moon? He played the most games out of everyone. Yep. Anyways, let's go ahead. Oh no, I guess the people from the Invitational. No, no one made it past to the round of 8. So yeah, I guess Moon did play the most out of everyone. So a couple of things I wanted to say. Hopefully this is going to be entertaining for you guys. First of all, hats off to all of the people in production who are working at DreamHack. Oftentimes, they really go unnoticed. The number of people just running computers back and forth, people doing tournaments, people doing lighting, stage, sound, all of those things. There was actually like a good 8 to 10 people running production for this event, and you don't see them. You don't see the amount of work that is involved in an event like this. Justice for Thorzain. Yeah, I will get to that. Um, so yeah, but yeah, you don't see the amount of work that gets involved, and and when things go wrong in production, that's when everyone has pitchforks. That's so immediate. That's so automatic. I know the community casters were like, "Hey, what's going on?" We were trying to find players. Players would be going on smoke breaks, restroom breaks. They need to be up on stage. Moon completely missed his call check-in time by like an hour and a half because of jet lag, things like that. Just crazy things going on all across the board, right? So yeah, Justin Stein on my Facebook was pretty much like outlined everything that I wanted to talk about. First things first, I got there on Friday and I showed up and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I got assigned here by DreamHack that said be an admin. I have no idea what that means. What do you like? And they're like, oh well, we'll find something for you to do. And in the next 3 days, I think I did more than what a normal tournament admin was doing. I was like setting up pipes, drapes, computers. Day one, there were like the entire Dust crew from Dust Gaming was like stuck outside. They weren't able to get in and register, right? So and Entei, same thing. So I was just like running players and like flashing my badge and like pretty much saying, "Hey, these guys are registered for the tournament. Tournaments are supposed to be going on in like 45 minutes." And like people need to be here right now. They need to warm up. What's going on? Like, can you like funnel them through? And I basically like snuck so many people through the VIP line at DreamHack. Like basically it was like press badges only. All of that stuff was, yeah, that's all that was supposed to be. Organization was kind of awful from viewers' perspective, to be honest. Thank you so much for all your work. Yeah, no. So the thing is, whenever you have more people to try and communicate with, the it's very less. You're trying to get everyone on the same page, and like people and this is what happens in an event like this. People find it easier to ask in Discord as opposed to like see that the question was already answered earlier. And that's really what happened a lot of the times. The very first couple of days, we wanted to try and broadcast so much of the tournament. We wanted all the invitational players. We wanted really Dreamhack Anaheim to be a place where we could showcase a lot of the American players. Dust pretty much brought half of the crew from North America to basically say, hey, we're still playing, we're still here. But out of the 32 slots for the invitational, only 18 actually got filled up with players actually there. People were really confused about what a LAN event was. We had players online who were still in Europe saying, I'm supposed to be playing OC right now. And we're like, no, 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 this is a live event. This is a LAN event. You're supposed to be physically be here in order to play in this event. And people didn't know, right? So that was just absolutely like, oh, okay, like what do you do? Okay, did you not read like the check-in times where you're supposed to be? And everyone, it seemed like everyone, only 18 spots out of the 32. Yeah. So the production, the gaming were as good as we could realistically hope for. Yeah, it was like I don't think a lot of people were expecting to be blown away by four hidden North American players that were gonna bust through the brackets and then challenge, Foggy, Happy, Moon. I don't think any of us were expecting that, but at the same time, the, it was kind of tough. On top of that, because there was the eight-player invitational portion, a lot of people, I think, actually chose not to come out, right? Like, you didn't know if you were going to be guaranteed a spot. And since you knew like some of the best from around the world were coming, a lot of players chose not to come. We did have a lot of last minute signups as well. One of I think one of a Greek player, a friend of Todd's, was like, Todd came up to me like, hey Crota, can you go to the lines? I'm gonna take a picture of you so he knows who to look for. I need you to run him through security. And like I did that as well. Like I was just like, I ran outside of the convention hall. I just walked until someone waved at me and said, Jan? I'm like, Jan Merlot? Todd? He was like, yeah, okay, let's go. So we ran up there, we got him in, we got him situated. And then he looks over at me and goes, do you have a keyboard and mouse? And I was like, no, no, no. I obviously do not have a keyboard and mouse right now. 18 out of 32 is kind of disastrous, to be honest. Yeah, it is. Vancouver, yeah. It is a little bit disastrous, but this is like, I have so many thoughts on this. One of the things that Warcraft 3 needs is more players like Hitman. There is so many players, Warcraft 3 players, who are in their early 30s to like early 40s. That seems to be the general age of the Warcraft 3 players. Warcraft 3 really needs new blood. Like any professional sport, you need new blood, you need new talent to come through. And it was really disappointing to see Hitman go out like that. Going out in the round of 8, I think he liked his chances going in, thinking that hunts, like he still believes that hunts are garbage. Maybe he'll restudy those replays against Foggy, but yeah, 25 to 35. You would actually say, really? Well, maybe 25 to 35. That's there's still we still need new players. We still need like 17 to 23-year-old players to be the next generation. It's kind of like if you saw what, like basketball, like you're all like, currently like the current core group of people, and then there's this new wave of people coming up. That's what you really want to see, and it was disappointing to see Hitman lose out on that. Now the big topic, or I'm gonna get to Thorzain and Moon after my discussions on Friday. On Friday, when I was like wrangling with everyone, talking with everyone, I actually had the benefit of just standing next to some folks, and I realized But yeah, need new players. There are some 14 to 20. Well, that's good. I was standing next to some folks. I noticed they're wearing Blizzard shirts, so we're talking with them. Some of the lead designers on Warcraft 3. And then this is what I realized. Warcraft 3 means different things to a lot of different people. And what people want from Warcraft 3, what the real time strategy professional esport players want from Warcraft 3 is different than what the people who like to play through the campaign of Warcraft 3 want. And I think that was one of the biggest differences, and one of the reasons why Reforged has such negative press, because it didn't give anything that the professional players, the esports side wanted, and all of the promises made for the campaign and the story side were just what they didn't live up to the promises. To be honest, they just absolutely didn't live up to the promises. New cinematics, new this, new that, new this. A lot of people are just like, no, it's not what I wanted. So that's the whole entire side there. Ultimately, Blizzard wants to create a product and sell and create a good product and sell it. I mean, as much negative publicity that corporations get, companies are in the habit of making money. It takes money to build a corporation. It takes money to build a business. It takes risk, sacrifice, and all of these things that other people are investing. And then to say, "Oh my gosh, it's greedy Activision Blizzard," like no, this isn't some Blizzard isn't like, they do have a humanitarian side, but I have no problem with corporations like trying to make money, right? Like that's not a problem. But when they don't know who their target audience is, and they don't know who they're trying to make for, because they're trying to make everyone happy, and I think I can say this being some not famous on the internet, trying to make everyone happy makes no one happy, right? And that's what happened with Warcraft 3 Reforged. Warcraft 3 Reforged was like, oh, we should focus our money here, we should focus our attention here, here, here. No one's happy. So basically, both casuals and hardcore players, yep, kind of. That's pretty much what happened there. When I was walking around and watching some of the games, one of the guys who works really hard, and they said internally, like, he was the best Warcraft 3 player at Blizzard. He came up to me and he says, like, how come all the professional players are using standard definition graphics instead of high definition? And I looked at him, and I've been hearing this as a joke for a long time, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna use Reforged graphics. I'm gonna use Reforged graphics, and like, oh, it gives me such a competitive edge. And I've been hearing it as a joke for so long. But looking at him talk to me, he's like, I've spent hours, I've spent weeks of my life building this, and people don't want it. Why? And this goes back to the heart of something. When we say things on the internet like, oh, it's trash, it looks horrible, it's this and that, right? like it someone actually put effort and time and energy into that, and he genuinely wants to know why. And I summed it up for him. I said, like, the graphics look great, but one of the really big differences are the hitboxes. Like, I wanted to give a firm, concrete answer to him on why. These are all professional players, and the interface is different. The hitboxes around units are drawn differently. And it is so frustrating. They were talking about the hitboxes earlier. Like, the hitboxes are more detailed and more accurate in Warcraft 3 Reforged. In Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne, it's like, it's a six-sided rectangle cube type of thing, right? Like, there's six sides. If you click on that box, you click it, and it registers, and you are able to target that unit. That you're able to target the unit that you're looking for. it's in Reforged. You should have said that graphics okay, but RTS games are not played zoomed in. I could have said that too. I like people have said that as well. He wanted to know why the players weren't doing it, right? He wanted to know why the players haven't transitioned. And a hardcore way that I could say it was because the hitboxes are different. It's even I find myself when I was like playing just a little bit, I wasn't able to click on the unit that I want. And you are not asking professional players to retrain how they play the game that they've been playing for 18 years. And if you accidentally target the wrong crypt fiend for a death coil, or you target the wrong unit with a healing wave, that can have an outcome on the game, right? And with that, you can say it really is not the same game. So that's what I told him. I said it like that's one of the things, one of the reasons why that the players are not doing it. The game plays differently based on your interface, and you don't want to blame that. Um, Moving on, thoughts on Thorzain versus Moon. Thorzain versus Moon. Um, yeah, heartfelt justice for Thorzain. All of those things, like Thorzain was legitimately upset after the turn. Like he was emotional after that after the final loss to Moon. He played some really good games, and to know that in at least one of the games, some people are argue at least two of the games he was gonna win. At least he was gonna, like, he had a clear advantage in the second version. In game one, I think it's like 53-47. It really was a coin flip there. Towers were done, but you have a level 5 Warden, level 1 Panda, with mana, Fan of Knives going up against Dragonhawk Riders. The damage, the race was going to be tough there, right? I really was a coin flip. I think my heart wanted to see Thorzain win with that. So I think, and when we studied the replay, like we went back and went over and looked at that replay um, over and over and over again. I mean, yeah, people were making the argument that, like, some of the professional players, we even pulled them back and said, "Who do you think's winning here?" And it was like going back and forth, like better units, putting pressure, mining, level 3, level 2 heroes. Uh, Slight edge to Thorzain, slight edge to Moon. Like that's where we brought back as many people as we could and looked at it, right? Like looking at it, right? Like if like we're like, well, if the Warden, the Panda's away, gets a Fan of Knives off, this, getting the level 6 on the Warden, it's already so close. Could you like factor that in? Like, oh, that's a good, like, we thought about this a long time. This was, and then at the end we're like, because we can't do anything else. Yeah, it's all impossible hypothetical. We had to call for a remake, and then unfortunately we had to call for another remake again. And and then in the end we're like, okay, we're gonna try this, we're gonna set up land, we're gonna do all of these things so that we could get the tournament up and running again. And that's also one of the reasons why the community casters could no longer cast or join the game. They could only cast from the clean feed. I don't know if you knew that, but that was the case, right? But that was the case. So because once again, we were trying to accommodate everyone, or DreamHack was trying to accommodate everyone. Let's get the Russian casters involved, the German casters involved. They can be in the game as well. They can use their overlays. They can do this and this and this. Like, here's a question. If because one of the Russian casters, his game glitched and caused a disconnect somewhere, what would be said? Right? That's another thing. Like we wanted this game to succeed so much. The problem is that the game disconnects. Not Thorzain deserved to win. Yeah, ultimately, Blizzard needs to fix this. Obviously, they need to be able to get solve around the problem. What we want to be talking on the Tuesday or the days after DreamHack is the great games being played, the all of the drama that happens on the stage in esports. You do not want the drama behind the stage or off the stage to actually overshadow it, and that's really what happens here. And it's a big hit on it's a big hit on you know on esports in general. But we got more drama. Yes, yeah, no. They made land port. So yeah, basically, you set it up, you hit log out, and then you found a way that you could still see local games. Like I can try and do it. They should host tournaments on original until Reforged is even remotely playable. But even big non-esports channels on YouTube talked about it, and some pages too. Yeah, it was a definite downside. Was the event a success? Did Warcraft 3 Dreamhawk stream hit the numbers that it would need in order to be considered successful? I would not. I want. I honest. It was not a success. I don't think it was a success. Grubby was often streaming with more viewers than the official channel. It was splitting the viewer base, and it was tough. It was tough. I mean, Grubby at one point even stopped streaming DreamHack Anaheim and started playing StarCraft 2 and had more viewers. And although, yes, I am complaining about Grubby, but Grubby is he's a Twitch streamer. He needs to take care of himself. He needs to take care of his family, and he needs to do the things that he needs to do in order to make a living, right? So it's almost like an unfortunate situation overall. You can get to play land still I think if you download PTR, but yeah, yeah. Okay. Any memorable interactions with the players, casters that you like to share? Um, just like one of the things I wanted to say was I've often found it funny. Like I'll watch other games in Twitch, and the Twitch chat is toxic everywhere else. Like it, but Warcraft 3 generally has a very mature following and is generally mature group of people just talking about things and being able to enjoy Twitch, enjoy the stream. And then I got to meet everyone, and that was definitely the case. I got to see the players. The players were coming up to me like, hey, wait, are you Crota? I'm like yeah, I'm Crota. They're like, oh my gosh, like I started watching you like 10 years ago. I'm like, like thanks, right? And it was a blast. It was a lot of fun, and the community was really respectful. Overall, people like coming by, walking, like asked was asking me like he's like, I'm so sorry, but like is Warcraft 3 like StarCraft 2? And like I'd sit down and I'd be talking with them about the differences, and like macro versus micro, food supply, taxes and whatnot. All of this while like Counter-Strike CSGO is like off over here just blaring and blaring, and I'm like yelling at people just so that they can hear me. But it was absolutely great. It was absolutely fun. What did the other pros gameplay there? What did the other pros told about gameplay in there and so on, like Happy Moon Focus, and with newbies? I'm using that because of exposures. All right. Well, yes, I did talk to people from Blizzard. Death Knight, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. One thing I will say, Happy's work ethic was crazy, right? Like I was watching Happy, and like he like his name, he was just a serious business every single moment, just constantly, like in the downtimes, right when he's not playing on stage, like day 2, day 3, he was constantly practicing. I mean, did pros complain a lot about conditions? Overall, I think They didn't complain about the green room. They didn't complain about the food. Um, there was a little bit of there wasn't enough lighting. Like there was obviously a good side and a bad side in terms of being able to see your desk. Lights crashes. I hear there was mass disconnects. So like we were what were we trying to do? We were Entei, I think was like the disconnect king. He was getting disconnects constantly until we finally found ways to work around everything. It was just experimental. This was like the first major event, playing offline, and then like, oh, just direct challenge each other offline, realizing that one player would have like zero ping, the other one would have 300, 350, just like, oh my gosh, right? Things like that. If you can't see your keyboard, yeah, people, you couldn't see your keyboard because the lighting was really bad on some sides. So things to keep track of. So we were like, I was running around, like people that I knew would have disconnect issues. We would have a third computer host a game between those two, and we were like running short on computers, things like that. But yeah, overall, I like overall, my heart goes out to everyone who works these events. But I think hosting first official big LAN tournament of Reforged there was a massive mistake. Metaphysics, think of it as a beta test. I mean, we had it was Dreamhack who was hosting it, right? Well-known Dreamhack production, well-known Dreamhack tournament organizers organizing everything, and and the problems that came up were unique to Warcraft 3 Reforged because it was just released. We figured out those problems quickly, and we figured out solutions as quickly as we could. That's all I can say. What did the guys from Blizzard say? They weren't there for the Thorzain disconnect, but I'm sure Jay and everyone else at Blizzard is looking at the event, looking at the numbers, and looking at what do we do from here. I know Activision Blizzard overall wants to build esports, and at this point, like we're trashing our boat, not realizing that if we trash our boat anymore, we're gonna sink. So we need to we need to identify the problems. We need to work on getting things better, so that outside people who are watching this, who are saying like, what's the next game that I want to consider try playing? Oh, look at this game. Even its fans don't like the game. I'm going to pass on it. We got to make sure we don't do that. Okay, you did the best you could given the circumstances. Thank you. Yeah, viewership. Actually, I'm talking with a lot of the like the Dust team organizers and whatnot. A lot of people passed. They chose not to go to this event because of cost, because of whatever logistics issues, because of short notice. Yeah, it could it have done better in somewhere else? Yeah, most likely. I wouldn't have been there, but yeah, it could have done better. Better to fall in aspects of the first tourney in USA than in EU or Asia. Yeah, that is true too. Hopefully, all of the learning experiences for the first Warcraft 3 Reforged tournament, they will take some notes and they will have a better product coming up next time around. All right, so I think that's going to be it for me today. I've been talking for 30 minutes. I'll take one or two questions, and then I have doctor's appointments with my kids tomorrow, and so I should be back on Thursday casting Warcraft 3 again. But I'll take some questions. Get some rest for yeah. Thanks, and thanks for all the work you put in. You're welcome. You're welcome. Did there was a cry of delight when one of the games was back in Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne classic graphics, and then yes, there was a moan when it went back to Reforged graphics. Um, Thoughts about the new patch? Um, the patch wasn't for me. whether or not I am a cosplayer who notices the ears on a Naga Sea Witch being too human-like. I think that was actually one of the patch notes. Yeah, the patch wasn't designed for me. It didn't address my issues. It was. Is there someone that it was designed for? I hope so. Did they enjoy the patch? I hope so. Okay. All right, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to watch more Warcraft 3 stuff, I got thousands of videos. And if you want to relive the past. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.